Brother, so I just want to do a short video today. I just wanted to, just talk about the importance of reading, especially in the period that we're in. We live in a social media age where we're constantly being bombarded by um, different information from a vast majority of sources. But just from my perspective, through reading, that just allows us to control the flow of the information that we receive. Because, if you either read a book that you like or you don't. And also, when it comes to accumulating knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, there's only so much you can learn from your own life experience. But through reading, you can basically absorb a lot of the life experiences and knowledge of the other people around you. And I'm sure a lot of you brothers who've been in this knowledge have understood the importance of reading because there are just so many books that detail, for example, our rulership in Europe, a lot of the historical aspects when it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to the money system in this current society, understanding the family structure and dynamic, just a lot of things that because of your limited life experience, you wouldn't have been able to reach these conclusions until you were a much older age. And even in the scriptures, that's why it tells us in Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge are going to be the stability of your time. So when you're able to read and accumulate that knowledge and wisdom, it's going to make everything that's happening around you so much clearer. And honestly, it's a terrible stereotype for a reason, but you've heard that saying, if you ever want to hide something from a black man, you just put it in the book. Honestly, even the concept of reading and just being well educated, learned, and astute is something that is stigmatized, not by a white society, but between us brothers. We honestly stigmatize each other for being well learned, for being astute, for being erudite, for having understanding of things that are around us. And the reason why is because we've been programmed to basically, honestly, when you think about it, view knowledge, information, and technology as inherently evil. And it's not knowledge, information, or technology is inherently evil. It's how you use it and how you apply it. Like, for example, a reason why brothers are at a somewhat low estate is because we're taught that to conspire, to have plans and goals, to like meet in secret, things along those lines is something that is basically you're no good if you do that. You're a cheat. But when you, for example, read the writings of the ancients and you understand how societies rose and fall and how a lot of the kings and the ruling governors how they had to conspire and basically plot things out years, decades in advance. Sometimes a lot of things that they had plotted they didn't see in their lifetime. That helps you as a man to understand that in reality, when you have goals for yourself, you're going to have to be not conniving, but somewhat serpentine in your mindset, meaning being calculated, sometimes cold. But that's something you wouldn't understand if you were just learning things based on what's taught to you in the society through the television, through mainstream media, etc. Also, us as people, we're just affected by the minds of the people around us. Like, even the scriptures, it tells us, can two walk together unless they're in agreement? So the people you're around, the people who you listen to, they're going to have influence on your thought process, and they're going to change you in certain ways. I'm sure a lot of you brothers have noticed, sometimes when you meet new people and you start to become closer to them, eventually you'll start to talk similar to how they talk. A lot of the things that they find funny, you're going to find funny. A lot of the information that they're aware of, you're also going to be aware of. Well, through books, you're basically able to add on the perspective and opinions of people who have long passed away, and you're able to compare the information that they were bringing out from an earlier time period to what you're seeing today, and being able to connect the dots and have a better understanding of how to navigate the world that you're currently in. And now, when it comes to reading, Now, I think the most important aspect of reading is obviously the scriptures, because you understand, being a so-called black man, that's our heritage. Through it, it has our history. It has a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And once you're fully grounded in that truth, basically you're gonna be able to conquer any other subject that you tackle. That's why Christ Himself in the scripture said, "Those who believe on Him, out of His belly or His mouth, rivers of flowing water would come out." Meaning, once you have understanding the truth of the scriptures and you're fully grounded as a man, you're going to be able to expand on your wisdom and knowledge and understanding on a variety of topics. For example, we can even talk about the King Solomon, who the Most High granted wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Now, of course, he fell, but his story, or his understanding of wisdom, is supposed to be representative of how all of us brothers should aspire to be. Because that brother, he was wise when it came to law. He understood the nature of things, animals, the stars. He understood the creation of the earth, at least according to the Most High's understanding. He, of course, he probably understand a lot of the occultic as well. Of course, he ended up falling eventually, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean us brothers today should not have an understanding of those things as well. Because when we have an understanding of all things around us, not only does it make our lives easier to navigate, it's going to give us more of an appreciation for the Most High's creation. Because there's just so many beautiful things that the Most High has done, but also through reading is going to demystify a lot of concept. And I remember I was speaking to a brother the other day. I'm not going to throw his name out there, and he actually brought up an excellent point. A lot of people, because of the lack of knowledge and due to, like, having a fervent spirit, they want things to be exciting. They just want to mystify everything, make everything magical and fanciful and beyond belief. But when you understand the nature of things, you understand that there's really nothing mystical or magical about anything. Everything that exists is can be explained and can be understood if you have the discipline, the perspicacity, and also just the ability to understand what you're reading. You'll be able to understand everything in this society. And they even allude to it in a lot of the movies. Well, they'll say a lot of times how, quote unquote, magic is just science that can't be understood. And that's the same with a lot of mysticism. It's just science or knowledge, wisdom from the ancients encoded. So you, as an average person, are not meant to understand it. But if you take the time to research and are diligent, you'll be able to basically decipher the code. And once you decipher that code, you can even apply it to other aspects of your life. For example, if a lot of you brothers who are into gematria or numerology, when you first get into that, you can, and you understand the meaning of numbers, like, for example, the meaning of number 7, the meaning of number 3, 12, etc. You can apply those numbers in the scriptures, and it gives you either an even better understanding of what the Most High intended for certain events as well. So yeah, I just wanted to make a short video today just to discuss my thoughts on the importance of reading and why I think every brother should try to accumulate as much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as possible, because we've been lied to so long in the society and been given so much false information and haven't been allowed to have understanding of true information. There's just so much information out there when it comes to understanding the truth of the scriptures, understanding the truth of history, psychology, spiritualism, just so many vast topics that I think all of us brothers should have an understanding of, because at the end of the day, us so-called black men are, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We're meant to be quote unquote gods, judges in the flesh. So it's important for us to basically be well read and erudite to the best of our ability. Of course, not saying we should devote the entirety of our life to just reading, because again, in the scriptures, it lets us know that not to be overwise, because you can destroy yourself. But I believe it's just important to read books, and also it changes your mindset as well. Because honestly, this is an issue that a lot of brothers have. we spend a little bit too much time with entertainment, whether it be video games, movies, watching sports, things along those lines. Not saying there's anything inherently wrong with that, but one of the reasons why the ancients, if you could compare how they spoke, their mindset, even when you read a lot of their writings, they sound so poetic. They sound so erudite. They sound so enlightened. It's because they spent a lot of time reading. Because just like our muscles, our brain is also a muscle, and to stimulate that brain, you're not going to be able to stimulate it properly through watching movies, playing video games, or things along those lines. You're going to be able to stimulate it through reading. By reading, you're basically training your brain, and once your brain is properly trained, uh, you'll essentially be able to make more sound decisions as well. But yeah, I just wanted to do a short video just touching on the importance of reading, especially for so-called black men. If your brothers have been reading, of course, you need to start with the scriptures. I'd recommend the King James 1611 Bible, and then just work your way up from there. But peace.